2 weeks. What if I told you you can use the next 14 days to prepare for the CELPIP exam in a focused and organized way? That's why in this video, I'm going to be giving you a full 2-week study plan from day 1 to day 14. I'm going to walk you through what to study, how to practice, and how to build confidence in the listening, reading, writing, and speaking exam. Just a quick important note is that this plan will only work if you are an intermediate or advanced English speaker. So if you don't use English daily in your regular conversations, if you don't listen to a podcast, watch a movie, listen to the radio in English, if you don't text your friends or reply emails in English, this might be a bit tough for you. I will recommend that you build your grammar, you build your knowledge, you build your vocabulary before writing the exam at all. Before I go to the day 1, it's important to know that for this to work, there are 2 rules you must abide by. Number 1, you must always time yourself. If you are practicing for anything, CELPIP is a time-based exam, so you must time yourself according to the CELPIP guideline. Number 2, you must also record yourself. If you are practicing for speaking, you must always record yourself and use the actual timing that you are going to be tested on in the exam. So for 60 seconds or for 90 seconds, as the case may be, always record yourself to know how well you are performing. And for writing, I recommended in my writing video that read whatever you write out loud. That will help you know what exactly you are writing and if you are using the right tenses, the right grammar, and the right vocabulary. Now let's move to the study plan. Now we're going to work in phases. Day 1 to day 3 is orientation. Day 4 to day 6, we're building our structure and technique. Day 7 to day 10, we're expanding our skills. Day 11 to day 13, we're doing simulation and feedback. And day 14, we are reviewing. Now, day 1. In day 1, what I want you to do is go through the formats on all the 4 skills: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. For all the information you need, go to the CELPIP.ca website and know how many parts are in this, how many parts are in reading, how many parts are in speaking, how many parts are in writing. 2 parts, but just understand the full format of the exam. For each of them, write them down. So I will put the actual documents for you to download somewhere here so you can know the full guide for the exam. Also, you need to understand scoring. The scoring is a bit tricky because if you look at the approximate score guide on the CELPIP website, which I'm looking at right now, scoring is a bit tricky in the listening and reading parts of the exam, and I will explain them for you to understand. Now, on the CELPIP website I'm looking at right now, a CELPIP level 9 is 33 to 35 points. But a CELPIP level 10 to 12 is 35 to 38 points. So in the listening exam, if you get a 35, where do you rank? Do you rank as a band 9 or do you rank as a band 10? Now, people get harder exams, some people get simpler exams. So if you get a difficult CELPIP exam and you score a 35, you are band 10. But if you get a simpler CELPIP exam and you get 35, you are a band 9. So just try your best in whatever level of difficulty you get. Now, the same thing also applies to reading. On the CELPIP website, a band 9 is 31 to 33 for reading, and a band 10 to 12 is 33 to 38. So if your exam is more complicated and you get a 33, you will be on band 10. But if your exam is simpler than the complicated one and you get a 33, you will be on band 9. You can look through the other scoring templates for writing and speaking on the CELPIP website. Now let's move over to day 2. Now for day 2, we're going to do a mini mock test. A couple of people have asked me that where can I practice, where can I do mock tests for the exam? I didn't have the right answer for you, but somebody recently replied on one of my videos, so I'll put the link in the description on where you can practice doing a mock test. I've checked the channel out and they are doing good stuff there, so I'll put the link in the description. So for day 2, what are you doing? I recommend you do 1 test in each category, not all of them. We're doing a mini mock just to assess our performance generally and know where we stand. So for day 2, you do 1 listening practice. I recommend doing listening parts 5 because it's harder and you're doing multiple speaker. 1 reading practice, I recommend reading part 4. And writing task 2 should be your practice for writing, and speaking task 6. Those are the 4 topics I did in my previous video. Just do 1 in each category and time yourself according to the exam. That way you'll be able to assess that I missed 3 questions, probably on a band 9. I only missed 1 question on a band 11. That just to guide where you are currently. And ask yourself, did I find it easy? Was I under pressure? What skill am I doing worse at? So you will know where to focus and place most of your attention on. So the weaker area becomes the priority for you. Now, day 3 is for vocabulary, tone, and phrases. Day 3 is your prep day where you are building tools. We're not practicing, we're learning and we're building stuff through research. So for day 3, I would like you to do some research on formal and informal speaking tones. I have this in my videos. You can check my video on speaking. I give a guide on everything. But for example, look at things like how to speak politely to somebody. I understand you're frustrated, but maybe we could do this. Hello can be used in formal and informal conversations. We're talking to a friend, you can say hi or hey. Understand and try to get familiar with respectful tones and informal tones. Secondly, we're also building and learning more on opinion and attitude, because in reading as well as listening, we hear some phrases that could confuse people. Phrases like, I'm not completely against this, I neither accept nor reject you, because you're trying to understand where does this person stand, what is their opinion. So please just familiarize yourself with opinions and attitude of your speakers. And number 3, I want you to build and work on your writing connectors. It will help you for flow and logic in your writing exam. So things like however, as a result, additionally, in the same vein, therefore, in conclusion, there's a lot of them. So what on this day, you're going to keep a list of your formal and informal speaking tones, a list of your opinion and attitude words, as well as a list of your writing connections. You have to write them down. So get a notepad and write them down. You will refer to them throughout the duration of the other 11 days. Now we're in day 4, and day 4 is the start of phase 2, where we're building our structure and our technique. Focus on writing and do one writing task 1 and as well as one writing task 2. That's an email and a survey response. You are building your tone under time. You're timing yourself just like to be in the exam. Don't stop. Do a full writing test for task 1 and for task 2. Always understand that your task 1 is formal and your task 2 is opinion based. For your task 1, you have your opening statement, your issue/reason 1 plus example, your issue/reason 2 plus example, and your polite conclusion. While for writing task 2 is somewhat similar, you have your intro where you state your choice and why. Like I said, you must pick something, don't be in between. Then you have your reason 1 plus example, the reason why you chose the choice above. Then you have your reason 2 plus example and your conclusion where you restate what you said politely. Now remember, after you test yourself under that time, you ask yourself, were you able to finish? Were you able to give specific examples? And do you think you were able to manage the tone of being respectful and being able to express your opinions for task 2 very well? Save that, whatever you've written, save that. We'll come back to that later, because if you have something you've worked on, we can now develop and progress from there. Now let's move on to day 5. Now for day 5, we're going to speaking. We're focusing on speaking task 1 to task 4. So what you're going to do is that you're going to record yourself on your phone voice recorder or a voice memo app, and you set a time. Follow the way it is in the exam. 30 seconds to prepare, 60 seconds to speak, depending on the task. Some tasks have 60 seconds to prepare. So follow the way it is on the exam based on what you see on the CELPIP.ca website. After doing that from task 1 to task 4, ask yourself, was I confident? Was I stuttering? Was I able to give enough detail? Was 60 seconds enough for me? Or did I finish before 60 seconds? Because it's possible for you to practice and by 45 seconds you're already done. So you just know that you have to speak more and express your ideas a little bit more. It's not just by doing this task, it's by also going back to review how you did, because you can pick up your phone and in 60 seconds you are done speaking. You can just speak and move on. But after you are done with the first 4 tasks, listen, did I sound bold in my choices? Did I sound bold in the advice I gave? Was I able to express my personal experience well? Was I stuttering? Was there a lot of mannerisms? Was I making grammatical errors? Then you can know what you'll work on for later. For day 6, we're focusing on listening and reading. Now, we're not doing any tests, we're just focusing on the exam itself and looking at what can be the best way to approach this exam for success. So I want you to understand the logic of listening and reading in day 6. So what do? We listen to one problem solving, that's listening task 1, and one daily life conversation, that's listening task 2. And what is the task? The task is for you to focus on what was being said and what they want you to find. You have to look for the main idea, the detail, the theme, as well as the attitude. For example, in listening for problem solving, there is a problem that will require a solution. So listening for all those and see if you're able to pick out all those facts and details from the audio. Then do one reading task 1, that's for correspondence, and reading task 2, that's a diagram, and see if you are able to pick out the information that was being expressed. Don't aim for perfection, you are aiming for understanding. Just review out if you're able to, pick out the details from it. Now we move to day 7, beginning of phase 3, where we move over to skill expansion and correction. What we're doing is we're looking at listening task 4 and task 5. That's news reports and listening to a discussion. What are we doing? We're just listening to test our understanding of information. We're looking at the main topic, the speaker's opinion, and the reason they gave. You should also re-listen. Listen once, then re-listen again, because you need to understand how a news report is being presented and how a discussion is being presented. They are slightly different, especially task 5, where you have multiple people speaking, but you need to understand the formatting of it all so you can get familiar with it in the exam. So re-listen and see if you're able to note their tone correctly. CELPIP used to hide answers in how someone speaks. To understand if you're able to grasp the information from the audio you listen to. We're diving deep into the more difficult areas of listening, but I believe that by practicing and by re-listening, you can always get all the facts you're meant to get. So the topic, each speaker's opinion, and the reason they gave for their opinion. Now let's move on to day 8, where we're looking at reading for opinions. That's task 3 and task 4. The truth is that reading task 3 and reading task 4 are about comparing viewpoints. So I want you to read one long passage and match the statements to the right people. So if you read a passage and you're able to see, maybe they talked about Dr. Alex, Mrs. Emily, Mr. David. See if you are able to pick out and understand what each person said. You are matching the right statement to the right person. What I'll recommend is that you label each person. So I recommend you to label each idea to each person so you don't conflict and mix ideas up. So if Mrs. Emily gives an idea, you label that idea or that opinion to her. If Mr. David gives an idea, label that expression and that opinion to him. So that way you don't mix each person's opinion. Now let's move back to day 9. In day 9, we're improving our writing by looking at that task we did. The truth is, you don't need to do so many practice tests. Look at that task you did. You had a few days to leave it there to just sit on your first writing attempt and do it again. See how you can make it better. You are not re-editing your work. You are starting a new writing task afresh with the right timing. So give yourself 26 minutes or 27 minutes, as the case may be, with task 2 or task 1 respectively, and time yourself, giving yourself a fresh new start, and see if you are able to do better. Trust me, you'll be amazed at how well you are doing compared to what you did in your first attempt. So do the same thing again, the same task for task 1 and task 2 that you did earlier. Do it again and check, are your ideas clearer and more organized? Check to see if you are repeating the same sentence again. Like, do you have other ways to open your sentence? Are you always repeating your writing connectors? If that's the case, you know that you need to get familiar with more writing connectors. Is your tone polite? Is your tone formal? Is your tone straight to the point? Just assess yourself. Trust me, you will see that there'll be progress from your first attempt to your second attempt. Now, day 10, we're going to the advanced part of the speaking exam, where we're doing comparing and persuading, dealing with conflicts, and giving an opinion. With the channel I'm going to give in the description, practice task 5 to task 8 and use this 3-step structure. Acknowledge the situation, give your opinion, and end positively. So after you record all the audios, go through it. You will see that you've improved from the way you answered your task 1 to task 4 when you did it the first time. Your task 5 to task 8, you will notice that you've given yourself more confidence, getting used to the short time to prepare and the actual time to record your audio. So you will get better at it. Day 11, we enter our phase 4, which is for simulation and feedback. So what I want you to do on day 11 is to do a full listening mock test. You time yourself and you do a test from the beginning of task 1 to the end in task 6. Then check your answers and mark yourself. With the score guide, you will know where you rank. If you ranked a 9 and your goal is a 9, try to do better, because you never know if your exam will be harder than the tests you used to practice. If you got a 11, then you can maybe manage and look at what works and always replicate that. If you got a 12, you're golden. Even if your task is a bit harder, you know that worst case scenario, you drop to an 11 or a 10. So find out what works and replicate it. Then if you got a lower score than you require, find out what was the issue. Were you distracted? Was it noisy? Was your audio moving too fast? And decide to work on that. Remember, I said it is simulation and feedback. You are practicing on your own, but you are guiding yourself and knowing what is not right and working to get better at it. Now for day 12, you are doing a full reading mock test. So you practice all the 4 reading tasks. Focus on your tone and attitude and guide yourself. Try your best to finish on time. That is the major challenge with people who take reading exam. They do not finish on time. Try your best, pace yourself accordingly, and finish on time. After the test, score yourself and see where you are at. Based on the results of your test, you will know what you need to focus on. And what I recommend is pay attention to all the attitude words you notice. That will help you. All the disagreements, all the agreements. Oh, I support this, I don't support this, I am concerned, I am confident. Pay attention to that and use that to guide you. It will really help in the written exam, just to know where people stand with their various opinions and views. During the full test, you'll not be able to know, based on your score, what you need to improve on, and or if you need to just replicate the same thing you did in the exam. So for day 13, I want you to do the writing and speaking mock test and do them together. Time yourself for writing and speaking together, because in the exam, after ferociously typing under time pressure, you move immediately to the speaking. So the 2 writing tasks and the 8 speaking tasks together. Do them together. The reason I want you to do them together is because in the other ones, you are just reacting to things. You are actively listening and selecting options, and you are reading a passage and selecting option. But in writing and speaking, you are fully involved. You are typing, you are speaking. So please do the 2 exams together. It will help you build your endurance for the exam. Now for speaking and writing, there's nobody to grade you, but for speaking, listen to the audio again and see if you're confident, if you're able to express all your ideas on time, if you're grammatically correct in your responses, if you're able to address the issue as it was. For writing, where you're, and also for speaking as well, where you organize, where your thoughts and ideas very clear. Now, for writing, you also focus. Were you able to give the right opinions, the right examples for things? So that is your last full run. So by doing them together, it will be really complicated, but I want you to put them together because it will make you develop the muscle for the real exam. Now on day 14, which is just for the review, what you do is just look back on all your tasks, look back on everything you've written and see anywhere you need to just work on, just review. I want you to revisit your best answers from the last 13 days. So you can reread your best writing task 2 answer, reread your best writing task 1 answer, all your speaking responses, look back at your tones and your writing connectors that you wrote down on day 3, look back at all your reading labels, look at all your listening notes, just review your notes and get set for the exam. If the exam is on day 15, all you have to do is just rest and believe that your adequate preparation and your timed discipline will help you in the exam. If you follow this plan day by day, you walk into the exam confident and calm. Now, I know that there is nobody to grade you for your speaking and your writing exam, so you might need some templates, you might need some proper guidance on how to prep for the exam. Not to worry, I've done a detailed video on that and you can watch it in the card here. I'll see you guys very soon. Bye-bye.